It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering He meddled in things that you people. He meddled in things. He meddled in things.
Where will we go next? Just phantom from another time.
No one, Mr. Mulder.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hi, I'm Alex Darkaiju.
I'm Jasmine with
I'm Eli Watson.
And you're listening to
Cryptid.
Campfire.
Yahoo!
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
And this is another in the series in the vein of what we've been doing. Another to round out the trilogy, I guess, of what we've been doing this month. And we're gonna share some spooky stories.
Trilogy of Terror.
The Trilogy of Terror, which I feel like would have been great for October, but we saved it for November. You know, thanks for giving.
Well,
Yeah.
we want to continue the spooky vibes because October just went by way too fast this year.
Dude, it did.
So we wanted to talk about, we talked about glitches in the Matrix. We talked about spooky paranormal stories. And to round out the trilogy, we're talking about spooky mummies.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're doing a mummy reboot with Dwayne Johnson back as
Oh.
the Scorpion King.
They're rebooting the Scorpion King, I thought. Yeah, dude, I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be our prayers are answered.
Woohoo.
You know, I know Jasmine's been praying for it. You know, I've
Not
been praying for
really.
it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're not the hugest fan of the Scorpion King franchise?
No.
Oh.
What? You mean you don't like all 5 of the Scorpion King movies?
I don't. I think I only watched. How many are there? I watched one of them. I
There
know.
are 5.
Are there
There
for
are 5.
real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Dwayne Johnson in all of them?
No, he's only in the first one.
Oh, well, that's the one I saw then.
Yeah. But I was just saying this. I was like, why wouldn't Dwayne Johnson be in all the Scorpion King movies? Like, you feel like that would make sense, right? You know, because The Rock is so big, but, now they're doing it.
20 years after it came out, they're finally getting back to the original star.
Let's get into the spooky stories.
Mm-hmm. We're telling some spooky cryptid stories this time. And, well, who wants to go first?
Oh, Jasmine can't see me pointing.
Who are you pointing at?
You.
Me.
The
You want
audience
to?
is pointing at you.
I can go first. So all of my stories today come from the Pine Barrens Institute website. He's got a library of historical newspaper articles of cryptid sightings and strange phenomena and things like that. So I decided to peruse those and see which ones would be fun to share. And the first one I have is a story that took place in Ohio, because I specifically searched the term Ohio to see what might come up.
Ooh.
But interestingly, it's from a Wisconsin newspaper. It's called the Mineral Point Tribune. But I did do just a tiny bit of research on the newspaper itself. And content usually included poetry on the front page, national and international news on page 2, and then local news on page 3. So it was a very small paper, but it did include international news. So maybe that's why an Ohio story showed up in it. I don't know. But June 21st, 1883, the title of the monster, a beast or reptile which startles the good people of Ohio. So this takes place in Zanesville, which is about an hour and a half from where I used to live. It says, William Winters, while clearing obnoxious shrubbery from his father's farm near this place, had his attention called to a monstrous-looking beast or reptile, which started towards him with its mouth wide open until the jaws appeared to be 12 inches apart, displaying a red, forked, poisonous tongue, and ominous-looking teeth 2 inches long. The beast or serpent, or whatever it was, whistled and roared in a fearful manner, and came plunging on towards him with green, glaring eyeballs protruding from a massive head at least 12 inches broad, and a mouth sufficiently large enough to swallow his whole body. Winters became frightened and rushed for his gun, upon reaching which he turned and fired one barrel into the monster, which turns its half-serpentine, half-leaping movements for a few moments. Then it ran up a large poplar, which I found out is a type of tree, and entered a hold. And Winters hurried home and notified not only his family, but a number of neighbors of the strange, alarming sight he had seen, and a posse of men, armed with axes and guns, went to the scene. The animal had fled. Mr. Winters says that the beast or reptile he saw was 8 to 12 feet long, with a body as large as a telegraph pole. It had legs about 4 inches long, a brown body that was hairless, and a head shaped like a shark. The neighborhood is considerably alarmed over this strange production of nature. And that's the end.
The head of a shark?
Yeah, the head of
Whoa.
a shark. Yeah, I actually even went to Google and was like, do alligators exist in Ohio? And like alligators and crocodiles are not native, because that's like the first thing that I would think about when I read the description of this, even though the head looks nothing like a shark. But
Sure.
I was like, what giant sort of reptile could be in Ohio that looks like this? And I didn't find anything. I can't think of any known animal that has this description.
Does the Mississippi River run through Ohio?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's see. Yeah, does the Mississippi run through there?
I Googled it, and it looks like the Mississippi River turns into the Ohio River.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
They meet. Or maybe it doesn't turn into it, they meet. There's like a cross section where they combine.
I see.
Why, you think a gator or crocodile traveled up?
Yeah, it's funny because when I was just in Louisiana, we were talking about that, how it's rare that it happens, but sometimes a gator will swim all the way up the Mississippi River and just like end up somewhere in like Minnesota or something crazy like that. And you're like,
Whoa.
yeah, exactly. So
Well, the next thing I'm looking at is if the Ohio River goes through Zanesville, because that's where this took place.
Yeah. Is it like smack dab in the middle of it?
The Muskingum River, which is something different, goes through Zanesville, it seems.
I was gonna say, because you're talking, oh, what if it was an alligator or a crocodile that swam up, or what if when did that happen, Jasmine? What year?
1883.
Whoa, what if that's like an early version of what the Frogman start off as?
Maybe.
shark head.
Or maybe that's its final form.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's its evolution. That's like a 100-year-old Frogman becomes, Crocodile Man.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
They use magic, and that's when they lose their soul, and the magic takes over their body, and it transforms it into shark teeth and head.
Oh yeah, and you can make a whole show about them as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm thinking like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, the Tadpoles, right? Or the Tad Boys or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like tadpole people.
And it starts off like fun and whimsical, like, oh, they got magic and they're going on all these fun adventures. But then the older they get, the more the creeping dread that they'll turn into crocodile men and lose their souls when they hit a certain age. And then it once they hit a certain point, it just starts looming more and more, and the adventures start taking a darker turn, and it gets a little NC-17,
Oh my.
Yikes.
So yeah, well, we're pitching it to HBO Max this year, baby.
Yeah.
Tadpole Boys.
It'll be a spin-off from Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I could go.
Go, go,
Go.
go,
Go.
go,
Go.
go, go, go,
In
go.
1889, a guy in so-and-so village in Ohio saw a crocodile. I was looking for some crazy stories, and I found one on Reddit that is kind of a spooky one. So it's a little the grammar and the writing's a little off, so I'm gonna try my best to make it sound a little more reasonable. I shared this story quite a long time ago on Reddit Skinwalkers, but as it happened in Scotland, I was told it could not be a skinwalker. So when I found this subreddit, which is the Monster Encounters, I thought I'd share it here and see what you all think. So it takes place in Scotland, which is pretty crazy. Some things I'd like to note. While I do not live in a tiny village like this encounter happened, I do live in a small town in Scotland, so I am familiar with many animal sounds. It was not an owl or fox, both which I'm very familiar with, as they live near my house. So over a little over a year and a half ago, I went to stay with my grandmother in the countryside. She lives in a tiny village in the middle of nowhere in Scotland. My grandfather had recently passed away after a long illness, so I was worried she might be lonely, so I went to stay with her for a bit. One night it was perhaps 1 a.m. I couldn't sleep, so I was on my laptop in the guest bedroom that had formerly belonged to my grandfather. It had some new furniture, etc., to make it a guest room, as his hospital bed had been taken away. As I'm on my laptop, I hear what sounds like a flock of chickens going by the window, going nuts, clucking. I think nothing of this and chuckle to myself, thinking the neighbor chickens have gotten out again. I'll go check by the window, thinking maybe I'll put some food out and try to herd them into the garden so they can stay in one area and not get lost. Before I reach the window, however, the noise of the chickens changes and begins to blend together into a noise that gets louder and louder until it doesn't sound like chickens anymore. It sounds like a screaming that has frozen me in place. It no longer sounded like multiple voices of an animal, so I knew it wasn't the chickens being attacked by a fox or something. It was now a hellish screaming noise that was directly at my window, which was thankfully covered by curtains. It stayed at my window for perhaps 5, maybe 10 minutes while I was frozen in fear in the middle of the room. And before it left, I could hear the screaming get more and more distant until it was all gone. I have no idea what I heard, and I was too scared to talk to my grandmother about it the next day. To this day, I still don't know what I heard. The end.
So it was just something he heard? There was no he or she, I guess. It was just something that they heard? They didn't see anything?
Yeah, I didn't see anything, but apparently it was like pretty close by, like by their window, which is pretty scary because you always hear encounters of someone in the woods or this or that, and here it is. It's like right outside the window, but the window's covered, and it's like, well, I don't know if I'd want to peek either.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember when I was younger and I was living at my house in Ohio, there would be times that I would hear stuff outside of my window, and most likely it was probably just like an animal scurrying by or like a branch on my window or something like that. But I would not look outside. I didn't want to see it. There was maybe like a time or two that I got scared enough that I went out to my parents and I was like, I hear something outside. Can you please go check? And my dad would like go look, but most of the time I wouldn't want to look out the window either.
Mm-hmm.
You taking a slurp of something there?
Whoa.
Smoothie.
Whoa.
I'm sipping that cryptid smoothie.
What kind of smoothie?
Got real Bigfoot fur in it.
It's wow, that would be nasty, bro. It's like fruit and protein. I don't know. My sister makes it.
I
And
see.
she gives it to me so I can be big and strong for work. All done.
Well, which stories would you like to share with us now?
I have one from the Cradle of Life, Ohio.
Hey!
Whoa.
Yeah, and it actually takes place just a few years after Jasmine's original story. Uh, and the title is The Wild Man of Ohio. This is 1887, March 11th. And it comes from the Midland Journal, which is actually a Maryland newspaper. I should add that this also comes from the Pine Barrens Institute, not from his website, but from his book, Monsters in Print, which I don't know. I'll just throw this out there. Adam Benedict runs the Pine Barrens Institute. He also published this book, and we've talked to him. He's been on the show twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly recommend go check out those episodes because he's kind of a fun guy.
Yeah. Tell him Cryptid Campfire sent you.
Yeah, tell him that. Fill his inbox with messages.
Yeah. Tell him all about how you enjoyed the Tom Cruise Mummy movie.
Yeah, do it. Anyways, so this is a curious creature seen among the hills of Holmes County. A party of hunters who have just returned from a hunt in the hills of Holmes County, Ohio, say they encountered a curious creature on their trip. According to their description, a wild man or some other strange being is at large in Holmes County. The party who reported seeing this strange creature claimed that he or it looked like a man, but acted like a wild beast. The creature was encountered near a brushy thicket in a whoa, I don't even know that word. Willow copse? Willow copse? Near what is known as Big Spring, where General Buell rested on his march through Ohio, at a point a short distance south of the Wayne County line in Holmes County. I'm assuming Jasmine knows where all of this is and that she knows who General Buell is.
Well, Holmes County does sound familiar. I'm actually Googling it right now to see how far away it is from where I lived. It's not that far. It's nearby.
Is it like California nearby, or is it
What kind of question is that? Is it like
is like
California nearby?
like in California nearby is like an hour, you know?
Oh. Well, I'm just looking at the distance on a map. I haven't like Googled how long it takes. Hold on.
Oh,
I'll
got
find
it.
out. I'll find out. Give me just a second. Hold on. One moment. Directions, Holmes County, from the secret location where Jasmine used to live.
And you can type that in.
Less than an hour.
Less than an hour. Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. You should go there. Find General Buell.
Yeah. Tell him to cut the crap.
All right. Well, the hunters were beating the brush for pheasants when the attention of one of the party was attracted to an object that suddenly darted across an opening in the brush. Later on, the object was seen again along the edge of the brush. By this time, the hunters had reached open ground and were surprised to see what they describe as a man, entirely nude, but covered with what appeared to be matted hair. When seen, he was some distance away, but on discovering the hunters, he started toward them on a run and gave forth queer guttural sounds. On seeing the strange being moving toward them, the party of hunters, which included 4 persons, all armed with shotguns, broke and ran. The strange creature pursued them for a short distance until the party had reached a public highway, when he turned back and was seen to enter Killbuck Creek, which he swam and then disappeared in the brush again. On approaching the water, he dropped on all fours and plunged in like a dog, swimming in a manner similar to a canine. The hunters did not have the nerve to return, but got away from the place as soon as possible. They are emphatic in their assertion. Oh my God. They are emphatic in their assertion that they encountered a wild man and describe him as above, but they are of the impression that he is no relative of the famous wild man of Rockaway. Which, that's like a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, right. It's
It's-
like, well, we encountered this crazy monster, but we don't think he's related to this other monster. What?
it's
Took half a
interesting.
year.
I know it's interesting though because that's clearly a Sasquatch report, you know,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and the fact that it's swimming in the creek is pretty interesting. Or was it a lake or it was a creek?
I think a creek. Well,
Yeah,
also
Kilbuck Creek.
he's like super territorial too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, he was fully in the nude.
He had the power of the nakedness.
No, he felt exposed, dude. He had to chase off those people.
Don't look at me.
I'm taking a shower.
Can a guy have a break?
Uh,
That is pretty wild, though.
yeah, it's cool. And it took place in Ohio. And it could be, the same thing that Jasmine's dad saw.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is that article is also on the Pine Barrens website. I saw the headline, but I didn't read the article because I didn't want it to be too similar to like the Ohio Grassman. I was like, I want to talk about something new or things that I haven't mentioned on the show before. But my dad did have an Ohio Grassman site. If you want to hear that story, you can go back and listen to was it our Squatch Types episode? Back
Mm,
I
during
believe
the
so.
mountain.
yeah.
Yeah, our Squatch
things.
Types episode is like half of it is the Ohio Grassman, and then everything else is condensed. But it's cool.
Well, I have another story I can share if you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Sure,
Bring
let's do
it. Bring it on.
So this one comes from a newspaper called the Lake Charles Echo, which is a Louisiana paper. I did a little bit of research on this one as well, and I found this background information about these newspapers from the Library of Congress website. So, this specific newspaper did include fictional writings sometimes. It has like a whole list of stuff that was written about, but then the end of the sentence also says, as well as a wide selection of general interest essays and fiction. So there is a small chance that this article was like a satire or a work of fiction or something like that. But I don't really have a way to confirm it because all I have is, the article itself. It's on the Pine Barrens website, but I was also able to find like a picture of the original article. There's like a certain word for that, isn't there? Like it was a scan of the paper that was uploaded to a website on the Library of Congress or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is this may or may not be fictional from the start, but it was definitely interesting enough that I wanted to share it. So it's from 1879. The title is A Boy Rooster. So it says, the strangest, and actually, before I even read it, when I started reading this, I was like, dude, this is mean. Like, this is a really mean article. So I'm almost hoping that it's fiction because otherwise it's like very rude. It says, the strangest freak of nature on record has just come to light in the shape of a boy rooster. The parents of the strange malformation, now about 6 years old, from mortification kept its existence a profound secret except in instances where near relatives were permitted to see it, until recently when it was taken to St. Louis to see if the learned doctors could account for its strange deformity, but they could not. This strange creature was born or hatched about 10 miles from Vicksburg in Mississippi. The head and feet of this strange creature is as perfect a chicken as was ever hatched, while its hands and body is that of a perfect human, except that its hands are as large as those of a man. It has beak, comb, and gills like a chicken, and its neck from its head to its shoulders is covered with beautiful red feathers tinged with gold, and it crows and talks alternately. It has the intellect of the human, But when it comes to its food, it will eat nothing except such food as fowls feed upon, and is extremely fond of bugs and worms, which it catches in the yard, and says they are perfectly splendid. Uh, sorry, did any of you watch The Haunting of Bly Manor?
No.
No.
Perfectly
Is,
splendid
is there a
is a
chicken in
thing.
there?
No,
Oh,
no, no.
no.
Anyone who saw it, they'll know.
Rooster
know.
Boy's in it?
Yeah.
No.
He's the
Oh.
haunter of Bly Manor. The chicken ghost.
No. So, sorry, I lost my place thinking about The Haunting of Bly Manor. Okay. Which it catches out in the yard and says that they are perfectly splendid. It is a great cross to its mother to see it out in the yard catching worms. The name of the father of this boy rooster is Rathbone. This is certainly the most wonderful child that the world has ever seen. Barnum would doubtless give $500,000 for it, but its parents say that they cannot afford to make money out of the misfortunes of their offspring and will not even exhibit it for pay. And that's the end.
Whoa.
Mhm. So were the parents human?
That's what I gather. Is that the parents were human and they had this weird deformed
Chicken
chicken
baby.
child.
This malformation, this abomination of nature.
I was like, oh my gosh, they're so mean.
They're like, damn, get a load of this ugly loser.
Basically, I mean, it's not even like the focus of the article isn't even the science. It's like not about wonderment or science or trying to figure out. It's like, dude, this thing's ugly. Like, what?
Damn, ugly. Yeah, it's mean too, because they're like, well, it's got the intellect of a human, so we're gonna talk badly about it.
Yeah,
Hey, he can understand you.
yeah, I know. Hurt
Give
its
the guy a break. Oh
But
man.
Homeboy's got a beak?
Yep, he's got a
Right.
beak. He's got
Chicken-
feathers.
Chicken
His
head on a
legs.
little human body with chicken feet.
Oh my.
Well, Chicken Boy, if you're out there and you're listening, you want to tell us your life story, you can reach us at info@cryptidcampfire.com.
Good pitch. Like I sneaked that in there. Snuck
thank
that
you,
in
thank
there. I know
thank you.
English.
Yeah, me do that too.
All right, Alex, it's your turn again. Give us another one.
Woohoo. Well, you guys were talking about you went on the Pine Barrens Institute, found some cool stories and sightings.
Mhm.
I went to another source for this little story. It's the Singular Fortean Society,
Ooh.
run by Tobias and Emily Wayland, who we've had on the show as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And yeah, it's a cool website. I definitely recommend it if you want to find some cool info. They have some good stories, good content. And this article, it's from November 12th, 2020.
Oh, really? That
Yeah.
recent?
Mm-hmm. And the title is Billy Ray Cyrus shares lifetime fascination with UFOs on
yes.
Kelly Clarkson show.
Wait, is this real? That's really
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah. So real article, and
You didn't hear about this, Jasmine?
No, but you know what's really funny is I went to the Kelly Clarkson show one time and Billy Ray Cyrus was there.
whoa, he was right in front of you talking about UFOs, and you didn't even pay attention.
No. He was only there for a quick minute. Like he came out at the end because there was I think wow, this sounds super insensitive that I don't remember, and I'm really sorry about it. But when I went at the time, there had just been like some sort of like recent natural disaster. I don't remember if it was like a flood or something like that. But oh gosh, I feel so bad. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick because
I don't know if you should feel bad about that. It's quite a few. You know how many hurricanes were in Louisiana this year? There's been like 3.
it just makes me feel bad because like I should have paid more attention. Like I should have been listening. I should know what the natural disaster was that they were talking about. But anyways, he came out at the end of the show with Kelly and like talked about it and things like that. So Anyways, I saw Billy Ray Cyrus on the Kelly Clarkson show very briefly, but he did not talk about UFOs. So please share with me what was said recently.
Yeah. Well, it would have been funny if he was like, "Well, I'm here to talk about some relief from national disaster and also UFOs. Let me tell you, baby, there's something else."
So,
But here's what he had to say. Well, I don't talk about it all that often, to be honest, but it goes back to when I was a little boy growing up in Kentucky, Cyrus said during November 6th interview. There was this place back in the mountains. There were these big old beech trees back there, and beech trees are good to carve on with a knife. And way back in the 1930s, a guy had lived back in the mountains, had this crazy experience in which he carved the pictures onto a tree. I found them when I was a little boy, and it's like an old Model T Ford and a saucer and this alien-looking thing carved onto the tree. He goes on to say, I started researching, and I go, wait, man, there was like an alien invasion in Kentucky in the late 1930s, he continued. Who knew about that? So I kind of got fascinated with it as a little kid, and then a couple times throughout my life, I've seen some crazy stuff. Some of it, I'm sure, most of it is probably explainable. And then the article goes on to the alien invasion referred to Cyrus might be the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, which we talked about briefly, which happened in 1955 in Kentucky. We may have mentioned it during Blue Book, or
yeah, I think,
uh,
didn't we?
I thought we mentioned it another time too. I think we were talking about something else alien related.
Mm.
But it's basically a family they claim to have been attacked by little gray like metallic men, and like they fought them off for like a couple hours, and then they went down and got the police, and the police came up, and there were bullet holes everywhere, and a lot of booze bottles laying around too. Let's see. And then Clarkson. So they talked about the Hopkinsville a little bit, and then Clarkson showed a photograph during an interview taken by Cyrus 2017, which shows a blurry white streak of light across the sky. And he said, "I remember that one right there. That's a beauty," he said in the photograph. I took that with my BlackBerry.
Wait, what?
Does he say that for real?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
It's just but it gets better. Billy Ray Cyrus' appearance on the Kelly Clarkson show came less than 3 weeks after his daughter, Miley, had shared her own UFO sighting experience. And Miley Cyrus, she goes on to say, I was driving through San Bernardino with my friend, and I got chased down by some sort of UFO.
What?
I'm pretty sure what I saw, but I also bought weed wax from a guy in a van in front of a taco shop.
Oh my god.
So it could have been the weed wax. But the best way to describe it was a flying snowplow.
Interesting.
It had this big plow in the front of it and it's glowing yellow. I did see it flying, and my friend saw it too. There were a couple other cars on the road, and they also stopped to look at what I think I saw was real. Miley said the experience left her shaken for like 5 days. I couldn't really look up to the sky the same. I thought they might come back, she said.
Wild.
Yeah, pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. When I was doing research for this episode, I kind of tried to peruse some celebrity encounters as well. I was looking for more like cryptid encounters, and I discovered that Megan Fox is actually very passionate about the existence of aliens and Bigfoot and all that stuff. At least she was in 2014. I couldn't find anything more recent about this, but she was like doing interviews around that time, and everyone was kind of making fun of her because she had just for the first time like told the public that she believes in Bigfoot, and she was like very serious about it too. Like she didn't appreciate people making fun of her. She was like, why is it so hard to believe that there's a bipedal creature out there that we haven't discovered yet? And then she's like, how can you think that we're the only planet that has life on it? And it was very funny to watch in a way. But I was like, also like, okay, Megan Fox, like didn't see that one coming.
Yeah,
But
straight up.
I have a quote well, let's see. Um, she gave an interview for to People at one point, and she said, "I have confidence in myself that if I were ever to be taken out on an expedition, I would be the one to find Bigfoot." So she's very confident and very passionate. Again, I don't know exactly where she stands right now in 2020, but it was fun to go back and kind of watch some of the stuff. She's apparently she had not ever like had an encounter, which is what I was really looking for, but it's like she wants to have one.
This is what they need to do. You know, finding Bigfoot is over, but they need to bring it back like the way they brought Man vs. Wild back, where they had celebrity guests on every episode. The first one could be Megan Fox.
Megan Fox versus Wild.
Well,
But
Rob
finding Bigfoot. Finding Bigfoot with Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Well, Rob Lowe actually had his own docuseries back in 2017 where he and his sons would go explore urban legends, myths, and monsters. It was called The Lowe Files, and my mom actually watched it. And the season finale of the first season, I don't think there was more than one season, but the season finale, the last episode, was a Bigfoot episode. I was going to watch it, but I didn't because it was like an hour long and there was other stuff I wanted to look at. But it is available on YouTube if you're interested in seeing it. It's uploaded by the actual network, so it's not like a pirated thing or anything like that. But basically he says that he had an incredible encounter with what locals in the Ozark Mountains of Oklahoma call the wood ape. And he said in this interview that I read on Entertainment Weekly that they were hundreds of miles away from the nearest town, and they spent 45 minutes on the most rugged, brutal mountain trails, 1 o'clock in the morning. A lot of serious former military men with loaded weapons, and something started approaching the camps that was defying orders to stop, and apparently it got really scary, and Rob Lowe actually feared for his life. So if you're interested in watching that, that's available on the internet somewhere, the Lowe Files.
Whoa. What a like unexpected, because you're talking about Megan Fox believes in Bigfoot. Oh, that's kind of funny. Like that makes her a little cooler in my eyes.
Right.
But and then it's just like, and also Rob Lowe has a show where he hunts down monsters. Like, Rob Lowe, he's just everywhere in just the most unexpected scenarios.
It's true, huh? Rob Lowe. How many lows could Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe's could rob Lowe's?
Whoa.
Let's ask Ann Perkins.
How many lows could Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe would rob Lowe's? That is funny!
If he was low on funds as well.
You haven't heard that one before?
I don't think so. If I have, it was repressed.
It was repressed. I have a story, also from the singular Fortean Society.
Oh yeah.
And this one is from July 1st, 2020. It is called Reports from the Void. The only thing I can compare it to is a small dragon. So they received the following email, which I'm about to read, on April 24th, 2020. So it reads as follows. I wanted to report something strange I saw today on April 24th, 2020 at 2:45 p.m. I am currently babysitting a child in the Bucktown area of Chicago, Illinois, and we usually play in her back porch blowing bubbles or looking at birds or trees. As I was holding the child, she pointed at what I thought was a bird in the sky, the usual. I smiled at her and said, "Oh yes, a bird," without really paying attention to it. Then I began to stare at it and thought to myself, wait a minute, that's not a bird, it's a bat. It had the webbed wings and similar flapping motion as a bat, but the more and more I stared at it and began to notice the size and the fact that it had a tail, I realized it was not a bat either. It was nothing I had ever seen before. The only thing I can compare it to is a small dragon, even the way it was flying. I had heard about the Mothman story a few years ago, but I never believed it nor even thought about it. But from what I read, what I saw is not the Mothman, because what I saw to me looked like a bat/dragon, not a humanoid. I'm really upset I didn't get footage, as I had the child in my arms and left my phone indoors. So there's no way I can prove what I saw, but I know I saw it, and I hope other people did as well and can share their stories. The lead investigator, Tobias Wayland, said that he agreed that it was likely not the Mothman. And he said that it reminded him of a report received by Lon Strickler of Phantoms and Monsters from a person who said he had seen a pterosaur in Wheaton, Illinois in 2019. Wayland requested a more in-depth interview with the witness, but the witness did not respond. So, I mean, that's kind of all we have on that. But I think it's interesting because I think it would be fun one day to do an episode on dragons because there's quite a few sightings of dragons, which is weird, but interesting.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, it's funny. You were reading that email, and it was like, "Hey, this sounds like it was written by the Mandalorian."
Yeah,
I
the
would have been
child,
able
yeah.
to access photos if I had not the child with me.
Oh man, The Mandalorian is so good, you guys. Ugh. I'm so glad that I genuinely enjoy that show and that I don't just force myself to watch it to support Pedro Pascal.
Dude, I really didn't like the first season. The second season's good. I'm like digging it a lot
Yeah,
now. Yes, I am.
I haven't
But
watched.
Did you notice? Sorry, this is like a tangent, guys. Sorry, but we have to talk about it. I didn't even notice this. I saw it in a TikTok. Did you guys see in the episode where they kill the worm when the dragon I said worm. It's more like a dragon. The crate dragon is what they call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the dragon comes out of the cave for the first time, did you notice that the aspect ratio changed?
Mm-hmm. It's like IMAX.
Like what? Oh, it's such a good show.
Is that season 1?
No, it was season 2.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that yet.
Whoops,
Dude.
spoilers.
Dude,
I
season
mean,
2 is pretty sick.
It's
yeah.
pretty sick.
Yeah, because we talked about the first season a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's just kind of boring.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
attention everybody. I hate to break it to you, but season 1, a big chunk of 3 episodes is just, Seven Samurai. When they got to protect the small village from the guys, and they train all the villagers.
yeah.
It's just like, hey, I've seen this in every form of media since it came out. Like, I'm tired of Seven Samurai story being in something. I've seen it. It was Stephen King did it in the Dark Tower books at one point.
Dude, yeah.
So no more Seven Samurai knockoffs, please. I'm begging you. Writers out there, no more.
But the Seven Samurai, it's so good.
Just watch Seven Samurai then. It knocked it out of the park the first time, and everyone keeps knocking it off. Anyway, it's a sore subject because I've seen it ripped off too many times. But also, Mandalorian. I'll have to check out season 2. It sounds cool. Did they get the guy who did Taika Waititi? Is he back?
Yeah.
I think so.
Or not his character, but he's directing some.
Director, right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
his episode's like the best one out of season 1.
Dude, it is. It is. But dude, all the episodes in season 2 have been pretty fire so far. So I don't know. They got their stuff together, I guess, and we're like, oh, people are gonna watch it.
Well, I'm assuming they knocked every season 1 cliche off the list, and they're like, oh, we got to do new material. Oh no.
No, they do it good, dude. I mean, Pedro's good. Pedro's always been good. I always liked him. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Never
bashing him.
before-
You
never
guys
before
remember when
has
I
anyone's
met
face been covered.
him?
Yeah, I do. And I remember what he said about it. Yeah,
Is it my turn again for a story then?
I think so.
All right, I've got one more. This comes from a newspaper called the Grand Rapids Tribune or Tribune or it's Tribune, right? Tribune, which is in Wisconsin. 1902 headline finds strange animal. Uh, this one is a little bit interesting for me because the type of creature that's discussed is very different from anything that we've really talked about, mostly just relating to size. Because usually cryptids are like huge, 12-foot, 100-foot sea serpents, ape men, whatever else. But this one's a little different. So it says Bert student employed by Phil and Lapitz of this city yesterday ran onto a nest of animals, the name of which no local student of the animal science has yet been able to tell. The animals were found down a well, which he was repairing. The premises are in the eastern portion of the city being La Crosse, Wisconsin. When he took the boards off the top, he noticed a strange animal clinging to the pump. He promptly knocked it off. When he discovered others, his curiosity became aroused. He captured one and put it in alcohol. The specimen captured is about 3 to 4 inches long, cream color, with black markings about 1/4 of an inch long all over the body. In shape, the animal resembles a miniature hippopotamus with its legs sawed off close to the body. From the large mouth, 2 forks of a spindle tongue protrude, and with this, the animal feels its way about. It has no eyes at all, indicating that it is a species that lives in caves or other dark places. It is of a consistency very clammy and damp. Just what the animal is and how it got there is a mystery, for it is evidently miles for its regular place. I don't know. I don't really understand that sentence. They say they can't identify it, but then they're also like, it's miles away from where it's supposed to be. But it says there has always been a mystery connected with the well where the animals were found. There can be felt at times on hot days gusts of fresh cold air, which evidently come from the interior of the earth. The air is damp and there is a sound of running water heard through the loose sand at the bottom. It is in the populous eastern portion of the town, and that is where it ends. So I tried thinking of some sort of slug type creature that maybe could look like this, but nothing popped into my mind.
I was gonna say because they said what it looks like a no arms, no legs hippopotamus with like big teeth.
It doesn't mention teeth. It just says it has a spindle tongue, large mouth, no eyes, short hippo.
Yeah, I was. Oh, okay. I thought I heard that it had like 2 big teeth, but maybe I just misheard with the spindle. I was gonna say this sounds like a little misshapen Tsuchinoko. The
That's
Wisconsin
interesting.
brand, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, this is in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, dude.
Oh ho! What do you guys got out there? It's kind of a weird baby ground hippos.
Ground hippos.
Dude, could you imagine?
That's funny.
Hey, we know some people who live in Wisconsin.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we've been talking about them all show.
Oh, the Waylands.
And Adam Benedict. They all live in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Maybe
We
that's
gotta-
where you need to go, Eli.
Oh, I'm not going there, dude.
Yeah, they got creepy ground hippos over there.
If I'm going anywhere, I'm going to Ohio.
No, you're not. You're not
Yeah.
going to Ohio.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They got frogmans, grassmans, crocodile mans.
Yeah, dude, they got it all. Everything I need is in Ohio.
The With Manor with all the going ons. It's all there.
Oh boy.
But that's Alex then, huh?
Yeah, I got a fun little story. This one is from the Pine Barrens Institute.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a user submitted cryptid sighting.
Mm.
And these are cool because like they have a page which, oh, if you've seen a sighting, send it to us. Tell us it in your own words. And what's cool is it's kind of laid out like a report because it's name Daryl Ashley, age 68, number of witnesses 1, location of sighting Lansing, Illinois, date of sighting summer of 1968, baby. And then, what do you believe the creature was? In bold letters, a pterodactyl.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And the report is as follows. I was 17 in 1968 when I was going to my neighbor's house in late spring or early summer. The sky was clear and only a few clouds crossed the sky. As I got outside, I noticed it was particularly silent and calm. Not even one bird was making any sound. As I got to the sidewalk and before I turned right to go next door, I caught a glimpse of something just behind me in the eastern sky. I turned and looked, and I couldn't believe my eyes. There was this pterodactyl flying overhead. It was the size of a Paper Cub airplane, and it had a grayish-blue body with bat-like wings and mixed reddish-brown areas on it. As I watched this thing fly only 100 to 150 feet from me and just 30 feet or so over the trees, I tried desperately to get someone's attention to witness this thing with me. There was no one. No cars on the street, not even a person in sight from what I could see from their windows. Which sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, lucky does, huh?
I decided to yell to see if I could get his attention. I yelled and it turned its head slightly as if it was trying to pick up on where the sound was coming from. But it turned its head back away from me, and I yelled a second time louder, and it turned right. It turned back on its right, looked directly at me, and opened its mouth. And I saw rows of teeth and that 4-foot beak, and
Wow.
I didn't make another sound. Then I thought I'd have to hide under a car or something, but this thing just kept its course, turned its head back straight, and flew due west. Its head was brownish red with the knob or the cone part that looked to be about 2 feet long, being a brighter red. It had slow, continuous strokes on its skin-like membrane wings that had claws or hand-like bony fingers in the middle. It had 3 that were tucked under its body and a long tail that was darker that had a big knot kind of at the end, like a spade shape. I watched in awe as the whole duration was about a minute to maybe 90 seconds from the beginning before it was just out of sight over the western horizon. I only told my friend I went to see that time in my life. Later in life, I've told more than a few, not caring what they thought. I now have read stories of others seeing these things, and now I don't feel so crazy. What truly amazed me about this sighting is that it was in Lansing, Illinois, which is just 1 block off the major road of Torrance Avenue and only a few blocks south of Interstate I-394/80, and not in some off-the-beat trail in some far-off civilization forest park or what's considered the wilderness area. Of other oddities that have happened in my life, this is ... by far ... was the strangest. And
Dinosaurs.
yeah, they're coming back, baby.
Straight up. Just the thing I think is crazy about that one is this person doesn't even say it looked kind of like a pterodactyl. It's straight up it was a pterodactyl. Like
Mhm.
it was a pterodactyl.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Right? Pretty crazy. And I like it too, because you hear these stories and they're like, oh, I saw a Bigfoot off to the side and I crouched and I kind of watched him, or something like this. And this guy's just like, hey, you big dinosaur, look at me.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I wonder what words left the mouth when he screamed at it. Like did they just yell like ah to see if it would look, or did they yell words?
Hey, batter, hey, batter, hey, batter, swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What would you yell at a dinosaur?
Hello?
I don't know if I would
Greetings.
yell at a dinosaur.
Excuse me, sir, are you a dinosaur? Can you point me to Jurassic Park?
Oh my.
I would simply say, This is by far the scariest moment of my entire life.
I'd stick my thumb out and like try to hitchhike on its back.
Ooh, yeah. Just like in Turok.
Turok.
Yeah, Turok, the video games, you can ride on the back of a pterodactyl with a machine gun strapped to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Jurassic World 3.
that's what I'm telling you. Jurassic World 3 or Jurassic World War.
Oh,
They're
is that
not-
what it's called?
No.
No, it should have been. It's called Jurassic World Dominion.
Mm.
This is dumb. It's dumb because Dominion. Dominion. What does that mean?
I'm hoping it because I don't know if the listeners know, we got Alan Grant, Ellie Stadler, and Ian
Mhm.
Malcolm. They're back.
Let's go.
We're going the other route. We're giving Alan Grant nothing but guns, and he's gonna shoot every dinosaur he
Jeez.
sees.
Dude. Yeah, we're getting rid of Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and we're just focusing on the original trio.
I don't think they're getting rid of them.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna get eaten off in the first 10 minutes.
Dude, could you
That'd be
imagine?
nice. Just kidding.
Chris Pratt gets like gored to death by Blue the Raptor.
Oh, my.
And then Bryce Dallas Howard, she starts trying to run away, and then a T-Rex comes and picks her up and eats her.
Dude, Jurassic Park, the original, the first movie, so good. So good. I love it.
Jurassic Park, man. I like all the Jurassic Park movies. I like them all.
Yeah? Even
Including
Jurassic World 2?
I love that one.
What?
Yes, I think it's better than the original Jurassic World.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
I was gonna
Alright.
say, what is it called? What's the second one called? Jurassic World
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom. I was like, what is it called? Like Apocalypse or something?
Yeah, could you imagine?
But it's funny because it ends up being the best Resident Evil movie so far. Because they go to a spooky mansion in the middle of nowhere, but it's not just a mansion. It's got a secret facility underneath where they're making genetic monsters.
Yeah.
Dude, it's sick, dude. You're like, yeah, this is sick, you know? It's like, we don't need another story of them being on the park. They try to open it up. Oh, look, it's a theme park. Look, dinosaurs. Oh my goodness. It's like, we've seen this for the past 3 movies. Oh no, something went wrong. Now all the dinosaurs are out. Wow, this is exactly the same as the first movie, except the first movie was done better. So,
Well, you know
yeah.
what's crazy about
Well,
the first Jurassic World too, is because the whole point of the movies is they've cloned dinosaurs and they don't know what's going on. They're just these creatures, and we've been put in these crazy situations, and life finds a way, if you will. And then in Jurassic World, they're like, well, we made this new monster. It's called the Indominus Rex, and it doesn't know what it's doing in the world. It's kind of confused. It's kind of scared, and it's the main villain, and we gotta kill it to death. No mercy.
that's why I'm gonna make friends with the pterodactyl. I'm gonna tame it. It's gonna be my pet. I'm gonna go find it in Illinois.
You gonna name him Reggie?
Why would I name him Reggie?
Because his full name is Reginald, but his friends call him Reggie.
Well,
I guess.
yeah, and that way, too. Oh, that's just my pet pterodactyl, Reggie.
Well,
Wait, so who do you
Eli,
have?
do you have any other stories?
I
Eli,
have
it's you.
one.
I've told all my stories for today.
Yeah, I have one more. Did Alex share his last story? Yeah, he did. He just did.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Sorry, I got lost in the talk of Jurassic Parks and Jurassic Worlds and. All right. Speaking of giant lizards, we have from Monsters in Print, carcass of lizard-like animal 42 feet long found in Alaska.
Whoa.
42 feet?
Yep.
Holy crap.
So this is from the Evening Star, a Washington, D.C. paper, and it was published on November 25th, 1930. Strange creature with fur in perfect condition encased in ice of Columbia Glacier. So, Cordova, Alaska, November 25th. Reports received from Valdez today said the carcass of a giant lizard-like creature with fur in perfect condition had been found on Glacier Island near here. The strange creature, reported to be 42 feet long, including a tail measuring 16 feet, was believed to have been preserved since prehistoric times by being encased in ice in the upper reaches of the Columbia Glacier. The ice was believed to have worked its way gradually to the sea. The head was reported to be 6 feet long and the body 20 feet in length. Well, what is this? New York, November 25th. Bernard Brown, curator of the American Museum of Natural History, has requested Dr. Charles E. Bunnell, president of Alaska College at Fairbanks, to investigate the carcass of the strange creature found on Glacier Island. The museum was informed of the supposed find 10 days ago. So far as we know, said Mr. Brown, there was no prehistoric creature of the dimensions given in the dispatch from Alaska. If the creature was encased in ice, it must have lived when the ice was formed. The prehistoric animals of Alaska, of which we know, were the mammoth and the buffalo, and many small creatures, none of which would reach the dimensions of the lizard-like animal. The description suggests a reptile, something like a dinosaur, but dinosaurs died out millions of years before the Ice Age. The only other possibility is that it is some sort of marine creature like a whale. Mr. Brown does not expect a report from Dr. Bunnell for some time because of the difficulty of making a winter journey from Fairbanks to Glacier Island. And we never hear about it again.
Huh, ain't that the way?
I'm just still trying to comprehend a reptile with fur.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
Isn't
like
one of the main characteristics of a reptile not having fur and having scales instead, or like being slimy?
Well, not so much slimy, like, because like frogs are slimy, but they're amphibians, and usually reptiles
Right.
are like lizards. They're more like
Mhm.
warm-blooded, so they're like more dry, they like
Yeah.
wrinkly, crackle skin. But I'm wondering because they say, well, dinosaurs probably had feathers back in the day,
That is true.
so maybe it was
yeah, that's
one
what
of
they
them
say,
fancy feathered
feathers. No, they
dinosaurs.
keep going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
They keep
I mean,
saying, "Oh, it has feathers. Oh, now they don't have feathers." Yada yada yada. So I
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
don't know. No one knows. I think that's the answer. No one knows.
Yeah, no one knows, and
But dude,
this
what
this
if it
guy
just
was a
has like
weenie.
hair on part of its body, like along its back?
Mm-hmm. Like a mane.
Would that work?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like something you'd see on Skull Island. I was gonna say the one supposed scientist doctor was kind of a weenie because it's like, hey, we think we found a dinosaur. I don't really want to travel right now.
No, he sent some dude out there,
Yeah.
and that he's not expecting anything back for a while because of the difficulty of the winter travel up there in
Oh, and then we never
Alaska.
heard from the guy. Oh no,
Yeah.
the dinosaur ate him. It woke up.
Well, are we done then? Is that
Uh,
everything?
yeah, I guess so. I guess that is
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we want to thank you, everybody. We had some good, crazy stories this episode. We hope you enjoyed this little this trilogy of terror we've concocted.
The Trilogy of Terror. Yeah, I guess, I mean, this is the last kind of episode for the month of November,
Mm-hmm.
which brings us into December.
Oh no, how did that happen? I thought we were still in July.
Dude, I wish we were
Feels
still
like
in
it.
July.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, next month is gonna be full of cool like winter stuff. We're gonna have some cool, you know, yeah, cryptids that are as spooky as they are, ice cold. They're
Oh
ice cold
yeah,
killers.
they got a
Anyways,
heart of ice.
if I want to find you guys on the interwebs, how do I do that, Alex?
Yeah, well, if you want to find me online at Instagram, you can find me at Alex Daikaiju. Alex DAIKAIJU. I do have a Twitter, but I'm waffling between getting off of it because Twitter is just the worst.
Dude. It's garbage.
Twitter is where you go to find people who do cool things, and then they tell you their dumb opinions, and you just lose a lot of respect for them.
Dude, yep.
So tread carefully, my friends. And source-wise, I went to reddit.com. I went to the Singular Freudian Society.com. I went to the Pine Barrens Institute.com. And that was pretty much it. Oh, and then the mind inside of my brain for my thoughts and opinions on Jurassic Park. And if you want to hear more about the opinions of Jasmine May With about Pedro Pascal, you got to tell us all about it, Jasmine. We're dying to know.
Well, honestly, like, you genuinely can find my opinions about Pedro Pascal on my Twitter, which is Jasmine May With, which is the same as my Instagram, Jasmine May With, JasmineMaewith. And if you scroll back far enough, you will find the photo from when I met Pedro Pascal, and you will find the tweet he sent to me when he revealed some very interesting information about the day that we met.
Oh yeah,
It's similar to Miley Cyrus's UFO sighting.
yeah.
But yeah, and then my sources today. Excuse me. I mentioned my sources as we went along. There weren't very many today. All of my stories came from the Pine Barrens Institute, and I found information about the newspapers via the Library of Congress website, a subsite called Chronicling America. Did I say that right? Chronicling? Yeah, Chronicling America. And then I threw in some random stuff about some celebrities, Megan Fox, Rob Lowe. That information came from Entertainment Weekly and People.com. And then you can find the clips I mentioned on YouTube.
Ooh, awesome. And well, if you want to hear all about Eli Watson's, thoughts and opinions on Dracula, where do we find that, good sir?
I don't know if I have that anywhere, but
Well, actually, go back and listen to every episode we've done. We met talk about Dracula a lot.
all the time, dude. I know. You can find me on the interwebs at the Eli Watson. I'm mostly active on Instagram. I might be starting a Parler account.
The heck is that?
Parler is another social media platform that is like Twitter, except they don't censor people because censoring people is stupid and it's not free speech. So I might be hopping on there.
Well, be careful because you're gonna get a lot of naughty words thrown at you.
Yeah, but because it's like Twitter, I don't really like the format of Twitter anyways. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna start it, try it out, and I'll probably end up not liking it because I end up getting bored of social media pretty quickly. But sorry, but just throwing it out there. Anyways, if you want to follow Cryptoid Campfire, be sure to type in Cryptid Campfire on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are on all three, and we're fairly active on all of them. And check out our website, cryptidcampfire.com, where you can get yourself an exclusive Cryptid Campfire t-shirt, as well as some pins designed by our very own Alexander Daikaiju.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw cryptids, indeed. And if you still can't get enough of us, I mean, check us out on our Patreon, where for $5 a month, you get access to 2 new episodes every month, as well as a wallpaper designed by Alexander Daikaiju. And the whole backlog, I mean, we have 20 some episodes now of exclusive ones, that you can check out and get instant access to. That's like, at least 20 minutes of exclusive content.
Oh yeah.
At least.
What are you gonna do with all of it, buddy?
Yeah. And if you have any not reports, but sightings that you would like us to possibly share on the podcast down the road, please email us at info@cryptidcampfire.com, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, any stories, cryptid, UFO, paranormal, and if you got a glitch in a matrix, throw it in there for good measure, baby.
Oh, yes. And please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is you get your podcasts. Please leave a review. It'll help us rank better. And,
Mm-hmm.
tell your friends, tell your mom, force your dad to listen to it. Do it.
Yeah. If you ever go to the iTunes store, just download it and all the little trial iPhones they have there.
Oh my, that's a good idea. Someone should do that.
Hack the world, baby.
And with that, I guess I'll say farewell, goodbye.
So long. Happy trails, partner.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
This podcast is a part of Straight Up Strange Productions. Discover more shows like this one at straightupstrange.com.